Alright, so today I'm going to try to do a quick walkthrough of our 2022 No Boundaries 19.3. I'll tell you about some of the things that attracted us to this unit, specifically its ability to be off-grid, more set up than a regular travel trailer. So you can see a couple of things just to talk about some things I've added. So that right there is a camera I've added. The Furrion is the mount that is located up there, and this trailer comes pre-wired with that. So all I did was buy a 1080p camera that's off of Amazon. I'll show you the monitor here in a second that rides in the truck. And I wired that in. Took me maybe 15 minutes, and it comes with a Furrion based bracket. So that's nice that the camper comes pre-wired with that. You can see that Liz immediately added a awesome sticker to the back of the camper. I'll start on the outside and kind of go all the way around. So this unit is equipped with 235s from the factory. These are 235/75/15s. There are 4 of them. This unit has suspension in each axle, tandem axles, so you'll see in a second as I walk around. It's also equipped with a rear ladder. The rear ladder is to access the roof. The roof has a 500-pound weight limit. That's where our solar panel is located. That's also where the kayak racks are located, etc. On the outside of the unit, that's where your power hookup is right there. That's also where your coax cable would plug in if you're at a campsite and you don't want to use the over-the-air antenna. The back side, that's all your gray water, black water flush. You can tell we added these, don't normally come on them, but we added these bug screens. One of the things that we found out very quickly is that we were told, thankfully early on, that wasps like to climb inside of those small areas. So putting bug screens on the outside prevents you from having to deal with that. This right here is where you add your fresh water. So if you're looking to go out off-grid and you're not going to have city water hookup, that's where that happens at right there. You just simply fill that holding tank. It's a 30-gallon home tank. And then right here is where I run my inline filter when we're hooking up to city water. So if I were to hook it up to a hose here at the house or at a campground. This is storage. It's pass-through storage. Runs all the way the full length of the camper. Sits under our queen-size bed. I really enjoy that storage. I keep things in there like all my power equipment for campgrounds, any of my adapters that I might need. I keep all my firewood in there. I keep my water in that side as well, so my inline fuel filter, my pressure regulator for campgrounds, etc. Coming around to the front, one of the things that we really like is this huge panoramic window. Also, even though we have graphics down the side, which we happen to like, our favorite colors are gray, black, and green, so that worked out just perfect. We like that it is super clean. We live in a nice neighborhood, and part of that is being able to store it here for the time being is really nice, but it's nice that it's clean up front aesthetically, not a ton going on. This unit specifically comes with all 3 of the option packages. We got a killer deal on this from a local RV dealer, and this one happened to have all 3 option packages loaded on it. Includes the power tongue, so here's your up and down. It's got a light that's underneath there. Your propane tank. One thing I do suggest adding, and I'll tell you why in a second, is I added inside of here an actual gauge. It does not normally come on RVs, but I added an inline gauge there so I know exactly how much propane I have before I go out on a trip. And then here's the deep cycle battery. This unit we've equipped with a weight distribution hitch with anti-sway, so that's what you see on either side here. This is the anti-sway ball that plugs in right here, and the other side goes to the hitch itself. On this side of the unit, and I think we've got it locked right now. Nope, good. Alright, on this side of the unit, this is the pass-through I was telling you about. So what I end up using this for, too, on this side, you can tell it's got all my fun stuff in there, but here's our table, and then here's our griddle. And our table and our griddle attach right there on this fast track. So you can see right here. I'm going to go ahead and unlock the camper while I talk to you. On this side, you've got your propane quick connect, so that's going to go to the griddle that is mounted here. You've got your outlets for standard household outlet plugs, and then on this side, you've got an outdoor shower. That is something that I absolutely love. It's got a quick release pin in there. You just snap it in. That's also up underneath that pass-through at the beginning. walk you down back here. This is what we have termed the adventure door. I don't know what it's actually called, to be frank with you. But the cool part about this part is this is one of the oversized bunks in the back, and you have the ability to push this up. I don't know how well the camera will capture it in here. And then you can put bikes in here. We bring our electric skateboards with us, so those go in here. You can see our huge outdoor mat. This one is a 18 by 9. It's new to us. We bought it brand new after looking a long time. Now I will say my wife found an amazing deal for this online, and I think we paid right over $100. And this is Kumo, which is one of the higher end brands. And the pattern you can see is that bear. Again, it will be upside down, but you know it's there. Each one of these oversized bunks has power in the corner, so a light and USB, 2 USBs. So that'll be crucial as the kids get a little bit older. You can see here that it has a power awning. This is a rather large awning with LED lights inside of here. That's all controlled from the power center inside. And then this is a outside porch light, also has a scare light attached to it, so meaning that it's amber and also goes white as well. So let me quickly open up some of these shades in here. Alright, so the first thing you'll notice inside of here is, we'll start at the back again, oversized bunks. These are weighted for a lot of weight. So myself and Liz could sleep on the top bunk or on the bottom bunk and have plenty of room, so that's an option. So you can fit adults back here. I'm 6'1". I fit without touching my head and my toes, so they fit a grown man, or some really tall teenagers. So the way we have it split is each one of our kids gets a bunk, and then the dinette right here turns into an oversized twin as well. And so normally one of those kids will be sleeping here. Usually it's our youngest, who can't seem to be away from us, has been since birth. One day he'll watch this video and laugh. Alright, here's the bathroom. Comes equipped with a 4-speed fan up top. This is where our solar charger is. So this is our control unit. You can cycle here. You can see right now that the unit itself is pulling down. So it's got direct sun right now. So it's pulling around right around 4 amps. And you can see it's fully charged here by this light. And so because of that, the solar charge controller turns that panel off, and as it's getting sun right now, it's not charging because we've got it on shore power. A couple cool things to note inside of here that were new to me. So it is a shower. I can stand up in it, don't have any problems with my head touching anywhere. But this has a built-in shower miser. I had to learn what that is, but it's really cool, especially when you're off-grid and you're looking to conserve your fresh water. So it's essentially your shower miser. When you turn on your hot water, instead of letting all that water run down and disappear while it's warming up, you can flip on a shower miser, and the shower miser turns to a different color to allow you to know. So it stops the water up here coming out of the faucet head. It circulates that water through a recirculation valve, and once that temperature has warmed up to where you want it, you open back up that valve and it spits out hot water. So if you're getting ready to start a shower and you're working off of 30 gallons and say you're going to be a week in the desert or on a trip and you don't have time to hook up to city water, etc., that essentially keeps you from wasting a ton of water while waiting on the shower to start up. Inside of here is just a standard RV sink, same with the RV toilet. And then you got a medicine cabinet inside of here too, which we have a nice thermometer in there already. Alright, so this is your pantry storage, located right here. I know it's going to be dark. In fact, let me see if I can fix that. While I'm over here, let me explain. So this is how you open and close your awnings. This is power, if you want to charge flashlights, etc. We charge walkie-talkies. We bought a 1 to 3 reducing head that'll charge all 3 walkie-talkies off the same thing. This right here turns on my interior lights. These are my porch lights up and down. And this turns on my awning LEDs, which turn blue. You can see that Nobo puts a bottle opener inside of here and then 2 hangers. Liz normally hangs like her fanny pack or whatever she's using for camping inside of here. Alright, now I can move back here. Alright, so this is the pantry. You can see it's pretty deep inside of here. We don't necessarily use it for anything other than food. However, there is a safe back there. So if you're carrying some type of protection device to be YouTube specific. You can store it in there. The cool thing about the fridge in this unit is one of the higher end fridges that you could order. This is a Norcold. You can see it's a pretty deep freezer for an RV, so it's an oversized fridge and freezer. We leave these running all the time, as you can hear it spool up. It's nice to be able to put stuff inside of here that you might want to keep for time. We've converted this down to a spice rack. Not sure what its original use was. Below the Suburban grill. So here's the grill, and full with range options as well. There's a microwave down here. It's important to note when you talk about amperage, if you don't know much about electricity or how that works, you have 30 amp connection on this vehicle, meaning there's 30 amps worth of breakerage that's allowed. So you can run certain things off shore power. Now, one of the things you cannot run off shore power, you can run off of battery, is you can run just about, this is a dual source, meaning that it's 12 volt will power this. So if we're off grid, our fridge will work. It also can use propane as well. So if for some reason we're running low on power from the solar panels, this will use propane. I can flip a switch and convert it over. So it will always keep things cold. There's a couple of things though that you cannot run off solar. Microwave / convection oven down here, this big boy. You cannot run it off of solar power because it draws too much amperage. The same thing would apply to this. This is a vacuum. You sweep all your stuff. That vacuum requires shore power as well because of the amperage, obviously, that a vacuum would take. And then the last thing would be this giant air conditioning unit, which we have found is slightly overwhelming for the amount of space. This is the upgraded package air conditioning. It's 13,500 BTU. It's a stud, but we found out that it almost cools the place too quick. So it's important to know how to use your thermostat over there, and we set it to thermostat auto and then set it to like 72 or 73 during the summer, and it keeps this place nice and chilly. We find even at nighttime that you can cut it off. So while I'm over here talking about the thermostat that's located right there, I'll talk about your tanks. So in an RV, if you're not familiar, we have gray, black, and freshwater tanks. Your freshwater tank is going to be the amount of fresh water you choose to fill up. So when you're not on city water, you can fill up that. So that's 30 gallons in this one. The black tank is all your waste. Imagine bathroom, shower, etc., things like that. And then your gray water is things that that you run, maybe like your sink and things like that. So I won't distinguish for you on there exactly how those things are named, but it's pretty easy to realize why the black one's called black. So when we get to somewhere and we plug into power, or if we're off grid, I simply flip on the water heater. That heats our water for us so that when you hit hot water in the shower or in the sink, it gives you hot water. I flip on the water pump only if I'm out off grid, so you don't have to worry about flipping on the water pump if you're at a campground, because the hose pressure itself has already built all that pressure up, so you don't need a pump to do that work for you. And then the three up top are more so for winter camping or fall camping. These are heated holding tanks, so there's essentially heated blankets that sit above and below the tanks themselves. And when I flip these on, it keeps those things flowing. So that gives me warm, fresh water so it doesn't freeze, gray water so it definitely doesn't freeze, and then black water because, oh my gosh, if you had frozen black water, that would be hyper disgusting. So you can heat up those things when it comes down to cooler temperatures. In the storage up here, the only things that we've really added is Liz has obviously gone through and put a whole bunch of baskets and organization and things like here. For the way we like to use it at campsites. I did go ahead and add these small little bubbles that you see right here. I put those under. Those allow it to be a little bit quieter when it closes. You can notice in this package too, they have all the struts already built into all these, so they hold themselves up, so that's super convenient. So you can see there, this is the monitor that rides inside of the truck. It's a huge 1080p monitor, and it gives me a full view of everything behind the RV. At first, I didn't think I wanted it. I've pulled trailers my entire life since I've been driving, so I wasn't really super nervous about being able to back up the trailer. However, it is crucial when you are driving down the interstate, because I can see people behind me, what actions they're doing, if they're tailgating too close, if they decide to change lanes and my tow mirrors haven't picked them up, etc. So that's important. And again, Those things are not expensive, especially if you have a pre-wired camper set up. So I think we got it on special for like $119. That included the monitor and the camera that I put inside of the mount. So I've already kind of covered most of the bedroom areas. Again, this isn't a complete tour, but so there's sleeping for 1, 2, 3, 4 in the back, 5, fifth person here. And then I am too lazy to go over there and open up that shade. But this was a queen size Murphy bed. I have another video that showed how I cut it in half and redid all the trim on it to modify it to expose that window. But this is a queen size Murphy bed. You can tell I've added in these 2 latches here, these 2 gate style latches. They hold it so it's rock solid. It's not going to go anywhere while we were driving down the road. Behind here is a queen size mattress that folds over in half. On either side of that area back in there, try to show you. I don't know if it'll pick it up or not. But back in there is a whole bunch of storage. We also have USB ports that are located on either side of the bed for charging devices. That's great for cell phones, iPads, etc. And then this inside of here is all hanging storage. So as you can see inside of there, it goes very deep. I'm not really in the business of hanging clothes. If you know me, you know I wear a uniform every day. It's usually a black t-shirt or an athletic t-shirt and some shorts. But that gives us the ability to bring raincoats and things like that we might need for a camping trip that gets rained on. One of the other cool things about this unit, and this one comes with a Connex TV already, that TV is 12 volts, meaning that TV can be powered when we're off-grid as well. It can use the battery. It doesn't have to have shore power to make that happen. One of the other cool things is it's also got, there on the roof, there's an antenna set up, and I can come over here and press this button. And that button essentially turns on the digital antenna system that allows us to pick up larger distances. So if the kids want to watch over-the-air things. Currently today, what we use is we use our phones as hotspots, and then we connect a Roku stick that we have. And the Roku stick's plugged into the back of the TV here. And so our kids have the ability, only at nighttime or maybe early in the morning, or if it's raining, to watch a movie or something as a family. Again, we bought a camper to get out. We're very active outdoor people. And so for us, it's important that TV only comes on when absolutely necessary, which is usually when they're winding down for bed. It swivels out so they can watch it from their beds. Or if it's a family movie night or it's pouring rain or whatever outside and we can't do outdoor activities. I'll show you quickly. I covered the stove already, the microwave. You can tell that there are GFCI connections everywhere. So that's super important. And this unit specifically, the way it was wired, is all of our outlets in here run off the same connected circuit. That's great. So if one of them happens to trip it, you can reset it and it works for all of them. That's not something that's common in a lot of other RVs from what I've been told. Usually there's only a couple of protected circuits inside of the RV. So it's really nice to know that all these are protected circuits, meaning we can reset them if they trip. I won't do a full breakdown, but the way we utilize ours is this is all, I think you call it stoneware or plasticware. I don't know what you call this stuff. But this is all stuff that was purchased from Target, very cheap for what it is. It actually works really, really well. It's very rugged. We chose black because even when you scrub everything, eventually bowls and things stain. And so we chose black and white. Again, we love black, white, green. We're pretty neutral color people. All right, so I think I gave you the tour of most of the inside. I don't have time to kind of take all the beds apart and show you how it all lays out. But it's important to know that if you're looking at a 19.3, the 19.3 specifically is the bunkhouse model. And in the bunkhouse model, you get oversized twin beds. Those beds are probably a little bit smaller than a queen, honestly. In fact, I would say maybe they are a hair smaller than a queen. They're actually rather large. Maybe even like 48 inches across or bigger, maybe 50 inches. So it's super important if you're looking at 19.3 that you realize you get oversized beds in the back, which is super important for us, for kids, and for being able to bring people with us, etc. Most RV bunk units do not have oversized beds in the back. So that's something I want to point out. For looking for almost 10 years at campers before we decided to buy one, that was a huge determining factor for us, was that the beds themselves were oversized, meaning 2 kids, 2 teenagers, 2 adults could sleep on each one of those instead of having a standard RV bunk, which was very small, which is actually about the same size as this dinette folded up. All right, I think I covered everything inside of here, but if not, if you have any questions or comments, please let us know. we are super happy. We looked for a very long time for this camper specifically, to find one that was readily available, to find one that was in our price range. Normally, the ones we've seen, ours was an MSRP of over 40, and we paid 28 out the door. I think this specific unit was ordered as an RV show demo from pictures I could tell online, and because of that, the depreciation had already hit. So we got a killer deal, in my opinion, on this unit, especially when others around us in the 400-mile radius are still selling in the 40s. So brand new and fully loaded with every package you could option on here. The thing that I would encourage you to do is, if you're thinking about buying a camper, think about how much you will spend plugged in to a shore power connection. Think about what generator size you might want if you're going to run a generator. So we have a generator already we'll bring with us. It will run everything inside of here at the same time, except for the air condition. So that would be one of the choices we'd have to make, is do we want to run the air during the day, etc. But if we don't choose to run a generator, we have solar panels. And so our solar panels will power our fridge, our TV, our lights, our awning. Essentially the only thing that it won't power is that ridiculously high powered vacuum that draws a lot of amperage right there. And then it won't power the microwave, which is just fine with us because we have an outdoor griddle that we cook on more than the microwave anyways. It will also power, propane will also power our stove. So for an off-grid, if you're looking to be off-grid, it's important you decide on a camper that already has those things built into it, or things you're willing to add aftermarket. I've installed some solar before. It's not hard to install solar or a charge controller or the batteries or setting up a dual battery setup, etc. But it's something to think about, especially if you want a lot of storage like we got inside of this RV. All right, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully it's quick, but this will be the walkthrough of the No Boundaries 19.3. Thanks for joining us.